so it's what, July 20th, 2021. So it's been headed to give my little vacay, small vacay. Yeah, but I don't know. Again, it's still not out the window that it can't happen. It won't happen. It just, I haven't planned more for it. But I'm going to maybe touch on some early trauma, but speak definitely on the later trauma that I had in life, experienced in life. I know everybody experiences trauma or, some things or whatever, but I'm the type of person that, the way I cope with it, I really do need to speak about it, need to talk about it. I don't want to be quiet about it. You kind of hate to speak up against anybody else, but bottom line, it happened to me, and that's just how I choose to cope and deal with it. Other people can, live by the so-called no snitching rule and stuff like that, and not want to talk about things that happen in early life or later in life. But I'm gonna speak on mine. One thing that was standing out is that, I just kind of realized that my dad partook in raising and rearing all these so-called families, and mainly depriving me of that experience. And of course, later on, even my children get deprived somewhat of that fullness or whatever. That should have came along with grandparenting or just parenting. But early in my life, I look back and I see where he took on the responsibility of his own sister's children, raised them, or helped contribute in a major way of raising them, as financially and just whatever else, and just including them. And I do understand families and stuff need to stick together. It's like me, the biological child, I was excluded, but that's because that was his sister. He raised her kids, and she had her drug habits and whatever else. I don't know the depths of it, because it's pretty hushed when it comes to me knowing. But even the pastor of the church that we was attending knew about it, and but anyway, so that contributed. So you taking care of them, your sister's kids, and everybody else's kids, then you don't have really the drive or the desire to take care of your own child, who was the first one born. And so, I've been living like that for so long that I didn't feel like it was affecting me. But of course, I get older and I realize, oh no, that stuff affected me. And some people, that's why I can relate to Kirk Franklin's son, where you're deprived of something, even in adulthood, even though you're grown or whatever. You feel like something was like stolen from you, or again just deprived. And also, getting used to living a certain life when you're a child, and then it's just at 18 or whatever age, it's taken away from you, or it changes. No, it's just some tough stuff to deal with. And for some people, that is trauma. Some people, they could just be resilient, like, oh, it's time for me to go do such and such. But others, it might not be that easy. And it is what it is. But that was some of the early things that contributed to trauma, and even contributed to feeling trauma later in life. But the later trauma I experienced, oh my goodness, I think I'm gonna go off and read my list that I got. I made lists of what people did to me, and of course, haven't apologized, haven't tried to make good on it or anything. They just like, we did it, and that's just what it is. You just gotta deal with it. And so, the way I deal with it is making a list and just want to, I don't want to rehearse it and replay it, but I have not forgotten it. And then that helps me to know, how closely I can deal with these people. And quite often, more often than not, I can't deal with them, because basically what they've done is beyond fighting words. It's fighting actions and stuff. So if this is what we do in the black community, or to one another, period. I don't want to do that. I don't want no parts of that. And it's almost like, well, if you don't get treated like that here, you're gonna go somewhere else and get treated like that. So it's like, feel like you can't win for losing. But anyway, so things like being told I was so smart that I'm stupid, again, it's causing that kind of confusion. Um, I've been sexual trauma, of course. I've been smacked in the face with penis and smacked. Just stuff that I didn't ask for. I didn't appreciate. I didn't really consent to. Speaking of consent, yeah, it's definitely been the assault where there's times where I just didn't consent to certain stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, it was rare because I am I feel like I'm a sexual person, or I have my own desires, but even the one or two times that it happened, it's just like, it shouldn't have happened like that. And like I said, smacked in the face with penis. There's been talk about what has went on behind my closed doors. Where I don't even get to sit down and talk about it in a healthy way, or get it out. But there's just been talk from other people that I didn't include in my bedroom or anything like that. That they speak about what has went on, or what they think has went on behind my closed doors, and it's almost pretty accurate. And so it just bothered me. It like almost pretty much disgusted me. It's like, no, that's not good. I'm not finding out or knowing what's going on behind your closed doors. And I didn't put no videos or nothing out there. Do I have, I have a video or two, no, maybe like two, but they were just in my own possession. And then anyway, before this video took place, this person had already said it. So, that right there. There's too many of these males out here that talks to their female relatives, mom, or whoever. It's fine to talk to them, but to tell them in graphic details what goes on in your bedroom, I just don't feel like you should do that. That other person is there, and, it's too much. Or, I just never had experienced that. Have I listened in on conversations where people talk about what goes on behind their clothes? I sure have, because they felt comfortable enough talking about that and putting it out there. But to me, it's just like it was stolen from me. Like, I don't even want to tell everybody. It's behind closed doors for a reason. But anyway, so yeah, been raped, been sexually assaulted in some of the craziest ways. It wasn't always violent, so I didn't recognize it even as sexual assault until later on. That's why I'm not on the Bill Cosby wave like everybody else. I mean, it just is what it is. If he did that to people, black man, white man, whoever, that's just not cool. Let's say, what else happened? Oh my goodness. I was, definitely compared to other females and what they do in their household, when the person I'm involved with, you shouldn't even be in their household to begin with. Those days when I felt like I was being nice, not that I was trying to be mean on any day, but those days when I definitely was trying to be nice and not that cordial type thing, and I got the nastiest responses anyway, and it was like, comparing me to other females and telling me why this person cares or wants and desires another female, and I'm just like, wow, so it's trauma to me. It's traumatizing. Like I'm saying happy birthday to the person, and they're responding to me with, BIT, just this nastiness, BITCH, you interfere with something that I had going on, and this, that, and the third. And my thing is, again, I can just go back to when this same person told me, what are you going to do, or what would you do if there was somebody else? And I said, I'm going to pick up the pieces of my heart and move forward. And that person took that opportunity and said, there is nobody else. Like, just lied. And I was, okay, well, alrighty then. Then let's keep moving forward. So, you just lied. And then next thing I know, I'm getting spewed. So to go from that extreme to act like you had a care and concern about what I would do if somebody else is in the picture, and I tell you that, and then you jump to the extreme of, well, this is why I love this person, and of course that's unstable and double-minded, and or whatever. And I was just like, wow. I mean, even when it not went as far as, but even seeing me when they were out with the person, they seen me. I didn't see them, but they later confided and told me, I seen you. So I just feel like that was God reminding you that I'm still here, and you know what I'm saying. Of course, that was what, 2012 going into 2013, something like that. And of course we're in 2021 now, so we years later, but I still remember this stuff, and had already, like I said, experienced early trauma in life, the bullying, even other um, sexual things. And again, I don't want to talk about it like I'm the only person this has happened to, but I just, I still feel on the inside like I did. I had to be protective of myself, and I was deprived of that protection that I really feel like I needed. I feel like I lacked a lot of protection from people that should have been there to protect me and stuff like that. And again, starts with, to me, my own dad. He was also called protecting the country. I don't even know if we had wars or anything. I don't know. There was definitely, I'm sure, rumors of wars or whatever. I'm not going to downplay it, but, also called protecting the country, that turns around and tells you, don't allow the country can rely on you, but don't allow your kids to rely on you. So, at this point, even at this age, 34, I am still feeling confused on, like, what is right. Then I've been exposed to different step families and step people and all this other stuff, and so it's like, I don't know. I thought I was living a pretty decent life, pretty good, but when the confusion comes in, that confusion really definitely seems to destroy stuff. It's really trying to get the job done in my life, seriously. And so again, not really trying to touch on too much of the early trauma, but sticking with the late. So I started about the sexual assault, of course, the verbal abuse. Been called all types of bitch. Told all this bitch, suck my dick over and over. And I mean, I'm just spelling it out like that just because I'm not gonna say the word. It's just, I told that in front of my children and things like that, and it's like, oh, it was just nasty. It's just, I don't walk around saying, nigga, eat my PUS. I just don't, like, it's so derogatory. Even, I don't know. That's nigga type stuff and just ignorant type stuff. So, you forgive, but just even hearing that one time it's too much. So, I really can't imagine these females that go out here and they may, try to let a guy down easy, shoot, or they may just let him down in a more harsh way, and then a nigga want to go upside their head because of, I don't know. It's like it's nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide there's no type of resolution when it comes to stuff like that, and there's not enough accountability when it comes to stuff like that. Let's see, what else? The verbal abuse, the tricks, the sharing my information with people that you have gotten involved in. So, you'll basically allow them to look at like a social media page because you've been connected to me. You have them maybe encourage, or maybe, they just do it on their own, but even mentioning my name in your next relationship, like, your next so-called relationship or whatever, I don't know, because at this point in time, if you could be with somebody for 9 years and they still can holler off that they're single, do things like they're single, tell you, when you gonna get a man and this, that, and the third. But then on other days, I'm trying to be the man. I mean, and I got receipts as always. I'm trying to be the man to the woman. I'm trying to make us a living. I'm trying to do this. I've heard all of this, and so it was so much confusion. It was, I guess, the game plan or whatever, and that's how the game goes. But baby, I'm gonna tell you, I don't like games. I like the board games. I like Twister. I like Sorry. I like Nintendo and stuff like that. I don't like the other type emotional games, and just never thought that I would experience so much of it, like over and over. Yeah, most of my relationships, or what I thought was relationships, it consisted of the game plan, and it's like, wow. I definitely try not to partake in that. Sometimes I just get pulled into it, and there'll be a feeling of, you did this to me, I'm gonna do this. And again, that was mainly in definitely my younger stage, and not even in that last relationship did I sit around and say, oh, okay, you did this, I'm gonna do this. Because I feel like I learned a lesson in that first one where I responded like that, and I just basically almost got myself in a sticky situation, and I didn't like that. I didn't like, I feel like I learned then, like, even if this person does this to me, I don't want to respond like they respond. um Let me just find another way to handle it. And then on the other hand, I do be feeling like, but this is not fair for them to be able to do this, and I only feel like that in a quick moment, and then after that I just let it down. Yeah, I'm feeling and sounding a little emotional, because when I talk about these things, it really does. It still plays on my emotions, and I just really can't even believe that I went through that, dealt with that. I don't want to say made it through and overcame or whatever, but it's still really affecting me today. Or if I wake up with it on my mind and I just almost replay that stuff. And also because I haven't occupied myself with anybody else. I stay in prayer. I'm trying to focus on my children and myself, my household, and of course, my daughter's been removed from the household. It's not with my approval, but she's been removed, so it's mainly me needing to focus on my male children. But even still, it's just like, it's tough. It's tough because I don't. I see a lot of people have another peer and another adult in their corner. It's just me with my children. Now, I am that adult for them, and excuse me. And that's just that. I feel like God haven't saw fit to send me anybody else. I feel like He's even acknowledging what other people want for my life and stuff like that. And I don't feel like it's fair, because people have told me, you don't need no man for something to do for you. And I'm just like, you sounding like I need a man to use my legs to walk for me and stuff like that. No, I don't. But do I need the help that it comes from a man? Especially when I have children. But even if I didn't, I don't know how it would be if I didn't, because I got children and I done had them for a while. But that's what I desire, and that's what I'm deprived of yet again. I was already deprived of basically the interactions regarding my own biological dad, but then now I got people telling me what I don't need a man for. Then I don't even want to call him my ex, but my daughter's father at one point in time kept trying to tell me what to do regarding my household and what I need to do, what kind of moves he think I need to make. Meanwhile, he was laying up on somebody and living off of some chick or whatever. And I'm sure he probably was contributing, but even still, like, you don't need to try to maintain and monitor my household. You need to be trying to take care of your daughter and monitor her. You do not need to be trying to communicate anything to me about what you think I need to do. And also, especially because you so-called contributed to basically the way that I am today. Let him tell it, because he's told it to somebody like that. I'm the one that made her this, that, and the third. And it wasn't nothing positive. It was negative. He didn't say anything positive about what he's done. So, or how he's impacted me. But that was abuse to me. Like, don't talk to me at all if you're not talking about our child, and I barely want to talk to you about her, especially now. But don't talk to me about my personal life. And he just kept trying to think he could control my personal life or whatever. And to me, in a sense, he did, because he kept getting in dude's ear, and dude evidently was listening or whatever. And I wasn't even. I was just sitting back, like, kind of amazed. Like, are you serious? You really just sitting back, listening to him, and he's really like convincing you you're the one that's here, present all the time, but he's really, you didn't left some room for him to convince you of something. And that really, like, oh God, that bothered me. I might cry just thinking about it, but that really bothered me, that somebody outside my household and from my past, that I know that I did not deal with since 2010. I sent this dude on his way. 2010 didn't continue to. And even when I can just be honest, even when I thought, I even felt like I wanted to attempt to another time, that was the time when he was just like, no, I'm just gonna come here and get my daughter. And that was that especially this one day that I'm reminded of. But I'm just gonna come and get my daughter, and I'm out. Even though he had the opportunity to do other stuff, he chose not. And I'm forever grateful for that, because I didn't want to have no confusion and stuff like that. But then he started back again trying to throw confusion in, and I definitely didn't. By this time I had my second child. And so, when I done had somebody else's child, and I feel like you trying to be messy, I'm not looking back or whatever doing that. So yeah, he would comment and start putting stuff in dude's head, or they would see each other out, and it would come back and be reported to me how somebody didn't dap somebody up, and people feel, I guess, feelings hurt. I'm like, I don't care nothing about that stuff. To me, I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't mention it, but I don't care enough about that to be letting that affect my household. Like, oh, okay, well, they did that. I don't know what they feeling towards you, or whatever the case may be, that they trying to direct at me. But if it ain't directed, it ain't respected. Now, if they ain't told me exactly what it was, then it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. And like, even with his oldest daughter's mom, when I was with him last, she voiced to me something that, she didn't like about me. I don't like, and it was in a moment or whatever, I don't like your tone about something, and I had to let her know, like, that's fine, but this is the tone I'm taking. This is the tone and position I'm taking, because you done came at me sideways, and that's not gonna go down. And whatever you may be feeling towards him, and embarrassment or whatever the case may be, and it could be a reflection of yourself, and that you don't want to show up. So maybe you're feeling so strongly, but you're not gonna take that up with me. So again, that was me being protective of myself and my peace and stuff. And I'm not gonna carry nobody else's stuff just because another grown person's actions embarrassed you or whatever the case may be. No ma'am, no sir, no thank you. Back where it came from. And so, and that was a risk I had to take, because then after that person definitely, kind of, people see when people do stuff like that, they won't apologize to you. They will just start backing up and distancing themselves, because they know, they was wrong or whatever. And so that's my thing. That was trauma, because of course I was around that child, and then that child got got taken away from being around me, and I never did any, I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I didn't do everything perfect, but I didn't feel no type of, for the most part, I didn't feel no type of, like, no jealousy, no envy, no nothing towards this child. I felt respect and I felt love at a certain point in time. But then I kept seeing, then I didn't really ever feel resentment towards this first child, especially, but then I just kept seeing him when he would use her sometimes as an excuse to come to my house, but she wants to come over there and this, that, and the third. And okay, that's fine. We gonna come back because she want to come, not because that's where I want to be. It was definitely immature or whatever, and I can see through stuff like that. But, and then for you to And then, of course, you got siblings over here, and then got connected to my daughter and stuff like that. So, and then for you to try to use her as a weapon, oh well, she's not coming back over there. As if I did something to the child. No, it's something that you felt offended that I either said to you or whatever, but it was never nothing regarding a child. And so, to me, I just caused confusion, caused trauma. I just didn't understand, like, why is this happening? What is going on? And as always, I can admit to myself and God, those things, there's things that I did in my teenage years, early 20s or whatever, where it was like, it could be considered foul. So I do feel like you reap what you sow. And when you sow, when you reaping it, honey, you ain't thinking about what you had did or possibly did to offend somebody else or whatever. But I look back. So I'm just like, man. Thing try to drain me, try to traumatize me. But before I did those things, there was people that went before me that also did those things, and they didn't sit down and talk to me and tell me. It seemed like they did those things and they didn't, it didn't never catch up to them or whatever. But when I did it, it was like, oh no. And for whatever reason, God is like, it stops with you. And I hope and pray that my daughter don't carry on in certain ways that I've done or whatever, but my sons either. But it's like, nope, it's like a firm no to me. And even if I kind of look in the direction of things that I either have done in the past, used to do or whatever, or if I try to actively engage in it, which I haven't, it's conviction or it's chastisement, shall I say. And that I'm thankful for, because again, I remember where the Bible says, he disciplines those he loves, he corrects, he chastises those he loves. And I believe that God loves me. I feel like I know it. Some days I'm like, I don't know, Lord, I don't know what you got going on. I don't never feel like God hates me. I just feel like, Lord, where you at? Where's the love that's going to be shown in my direction? Like, Lord, you know how I need it or how I want to see it in my life, how I want to see it manifest, and you have yet to do so. And so, I just continue like, well, whatever he's allowed. And God will give me firm answers or move on me in a strong way when, like, even with my vacation and my trip or whatever, like, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and it was like, no, it ain't going to work like that for you. It may work another way. I really haven't tried or anything, but but I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the love of God. It's amazing. But it's like, God, I'm living in this life and it's other humans walking this earth, and it's a certain type of love language that I would like to experience on a consistent basis, not just one and done or whatever. But it's all good. I'm still pushing forward, even though it's bad, and I just be like, Lord, please. And the main reason why I just don't say, Lord, just take me now, is because I have 3 living children, and I love all of them, and I want to be here for them and with them. I want to be in their lives, actively involved. That's a major reason. But even out or aside, not outside of, because there ain't no outside of them, but aside from them, there's things that I've wanted to experience in this life, and and to me it's real simple. It wasn't much that I was asking for, but what I did ask for, I wanted it. And certain people just felt like, no, you don't need it, you don't deserve it. That's how they made me feel. Like, you don't need it, you don't deserve it. What makes you think? And I'm just like, what in the world? If you're able and you're capable, why not be willing? But it was like they just intentionally, deliberately deprived me of it. And like, nope. And it just felt like a bunch of game playing, and that can drive that can really try to drive a person mad. Like, I try not to have no madness and no confusion and no stuff about me, because I try to go ahead and forgive. But sometimes the memory of it plagues me so bad, and it's like, don't forget, don't forget. One thing I do believe that it's just dangerous to forget, because you may forget how you need to deal with that person. It's wonderful to forgive, but because I don't forget, that thing tries to turn into and make it seem like I haven't forgiven, when I just really be protecting myself, distancing myself, and in a sense protecting the other person, because I don't want to respond in a bad way towards this person, because I know that I feel like I am capable and I'm able to. Yeah, you didn't hurt my feelings, or you hurt not just my feelings, but you really did something to offend me deeply inside. Okay, you gonna get this work. That's how I be feeling, and that's how I be wanting to react and respond. And some people will tell you, "Oh, that's only human." Others will tell you, "Oh, that's crazy. That's psycho." I'm just like, man, y'all out here putting these different labels on people, and really, y'all need to get your own stuff together. You need to tap in and figure out what's going on with you internally, externally, whatever. But yeah. Then I've made other connections with people, like, again, people that my dad have connected with. There was one, what I felt was a strong connection. I felt like people were jealous of that, and I ended up, that ended up seemingly being taken away from me, and it's just like, oh Lord, when are you gonna allow somebody to remain in my life and just that's mine, so I'm gonna stick beside her. You know what I'm saying? Claim me, and you know what I'm saying? Not claim me as a dependent, but something close to it. But no, oh Lord, I just woke up feeling like this, and I'm tired of waking up feeling like this, feeling like blah. I don't feel the worst, but it's always that almost neutral, but it's still try to lean me more towards the negative side. So it's like, I'm 49% percent positive, and then I'm 51% with that negative. And it's like that scale is still off balance. And Lord, so that's when I just try to look inside and look around me and just try to figure out what I need to do. I've been told, well, if you do such and such, X, Y, and Z, you'll feel better about yourself, and I'm just sitting back like, these are not the reasons why I don't feel good about myself. It's because they're telling me to do something that's external, and that can help or whatever. I ain't gonna sit here in front, but that was more so because they wanted to see that, and they wanted, they were trying to mold me into what they wanted me to be. And I'm like, I'm fine, I'm moldable, but don't, you know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna put a helping hand to it, don't do that. Don't come for me. You in my business? Don't do that. You see me. I love when he say that. I really do. I mean, yeah, he come off kind of crazy for real, but I really do. Like, he be tripping me out. But anyway, so that's some of that trauma. I'm trying to think, was it something else that was important that I needed to mention? Yeah, being compared to other females. Then the other females can reach out and this, that, and the third, and you know what I'm saying, all this other stuff. Or if I try to communicate with them, I get a nasty response or something like that, and I'm like, wow. Or I get threatened, or like the latest one, shouldn't be no latest one, or all these, just being a womanizer pretty much. But and of course a whore and a whoremonger or whatever. But the latest one, of course, called herself reaching out to me. But when I say something to her and all that, and I do it in it's the opposite, but I want to say equal, but I feel like it was a more powerful response. This person, you get oh no, you get in your feelings. You can reach out to me and feel like you saying what you want to say and feeling like you in this certain type of seat or whatever. But then when I say something to you, it's, oh, now we pressing charges. I mean, literally, because I reached out. And I wasn't even reaching out to or for this person. I think that's probably why that person was more offended. Oh, she wasn't even coming to see me, checking for, I'm not checking for you at all, but pressing charges. So that's trauma that I'm experiencing. So, getting stuff on my record, getting spewed at, oh, you need to get a job, this, that, and the third. But then you assist people with getting stuff on my record. Like, you want me to depend on you on some days, but then other days, it's like, you spewing that other stuff to me. So it's like, I couldn't imagine. Um, then other outsiders and stuff looking in, and some of them distant relatives or whatever, but looking in and don't know what's going on and saying and speaking I guess their mindset or whatever towards me, and it's like, you don't know what's going on. Did you sit down and talk to me? Did you find out? Then when I open up and tell them what's going on, they feeling the type of way, at least in a moment, but still trying to me, sabotage and do little stuff. Anyway, I pray for a breakthrough, because the way I'm feeling today, and I'm feeling uncertain because I have something that's coming up that is just like, I really don't even want it to happen, but I definitely want it to go smoothly and go in my favor. But and it just all goes back to me to where I asked for help in the early years. They say you need help, ask for it. I have asked. Then I just say, you know what, God, I'm just asking you, because when I ask them, it's always a no, and it be to me on simple things. Getting the grass cut. Can I get $20, $25 because your children or your child lives here to keep the grass cut? It wasn't because, I'm trying to take your money and use it for something else. I didn't have it, and I needed the help, and I asked. um, mm, 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 mm. Thank you, Lord. So, with all that said, I just give God the glory and continue to put it in His hands. The stuff tries to drain me, tries to weigh me down. I do have a little more energy, more than what I sound like I have, but I just, yeah, definitely tired of being alone, but I don't want the wrong person around me. The wrong person or persons. There's, again, still a specific person that I definitely would like to interact with. A little more than what, I want people to know. But, that hasn't happened in the way that I wanted it to. It has happened slight, something light, but yeah, God has not brought that to me in a way that I know it's from Him. So I try to steer clear of that and just but yeah, and then it's the other thing where there's been females that be attracted to me, or they like how I am, and of course it makes you feel like, oh, you got something manly or masculine about you, and I'm sure I do, but it doesn't matter. I'm not attracted to y'all. I want a man. Like, I want a man. I don't want no female, and I barely want to be the friends of the females, but that's not. It's possible for me to. But just the way some of my friendships or my associationships have resulted, I'm just like, nah, I'll just leave that alone too. Because, you just don't want to experience no heartbreak and no discomfort and stuff in certain areas. And we've already experienced it in so many. Barely can smile good, and if I smile, honey, somebody gonna be looking like, why she's smiling so hard? And this, I'm telling you, that's how my life been. That's how seems like it's been set up. So what I laugh at, what I smile at, other people don't get it. They don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I do feel like my humor is different from other people. I wouldn't call it totally dark humor, but I'm sure there's some stuff that got some dark tones about it that I find humorous or whatever. Anyway. Again, on the record, submitting it to God, giving God all the glory. I don't sound enthused about it, I know, but I am being honest about it. I am giving Him the glory, and they probably see more light because I have to, and because some people probably think because you've been programmed to. I actually have my personal relationship, and it's reasons why I want to give Him the glory, and why, I believe like that. I know what amongst all the stuff that I've spoken about, I know what I've experienced, and I know when I've seen Him come through in major ways and just, defeat this obstacle that was in my way, move these mountains and stuff. And so, that's what I do. If that's even just a mustard seed um, I feel like it's way bigger than a mustard seed. My faith or whatever is definitely grown, but even if that's all that it was, hey, that's all I got for that day. That's what I'm gonna do with it. But I'm pushing through. I'm kind of just documenting some stuff, my daily or whatever, because this is the real me, and I just want it to come out of my mouth. I don't want nobody else to be able to tell my story or say it was like this or whatever. Not definitely, and this is the one thing I think about too. If anything ever happened to me, like when I pass, we all got an appointment with death, but when or if that day comes, hopefully no time soon. People do not deal with me. They don't, and when I say deal with me, I mean the 4-letter curse word FUCK, which in one sense of it, that's fine, because I don't want you to with me anyway. Like, I just don't. I want you to love me, LOVE, use that 4-letter word, and care. Choose other 4-letter words, but I don't deal with my mama, my daddy. My grandma's passed on, but I did before she passed on. It was like 2 years before, like, I kind of distanced from her. I don't deal with my paternal grandmother. My granddad, I don't. And it's, what I'm saying? I know it probably sounds crazy or like, well, what's wrong with you for not dealing with them? But, like, people have crossed me, and once I see the initial crossing, I don't stick around for you to continue to cross me in a certain type of way. It is one thing to have a certain conversation and you know what I'm saying, and not spew at me, but we can sit down and talk. I don't mind having the difficult conversations, but also I have convictions, so even sometimes when something starts going in a certain direction, I got my senses too, so let me back up before this gets ugly. Because a lot of times I be feeling like they're not going to want to hear what I have to say about the matter, and they're going to feel disrespected, or they're going to feel, so I leave it alone. But yeah, not my mom, not my dad, and not my siblings, not my step siblings, not siblings on either side. Of course, my daughter is only because somebody else chose to remove her, and then she started, choosing not to, I guess, deal with me or whatever the case may be. I asked her, are you operating in hate? She said she wasn't. So who else? And I just, it's only me and my sons. I don't feel like that's all we got. I feel like there should be somebody out there for us, but I ain't came across them. Well, I might have, but yeah. So no, I don't deal with them. And I had a best friend of 12 years, and yeah, me and her basically broke that off in the 12th year. And then people that I used to talk to, I just don't talk to them, because I've seen and I have the receipts where they started coming sideways, and I just be like, wow, man, because this gonna get ugly the way you feeling like you gotta come at me. And I was like, why do y'all feel like y'all got a strong arm or this, that, and the third with me? I'm not having that. And yeah, so I won't cuss you out. I'm gonna just stay away from you. Because yeah, what they do is cuss outable to me, in my opinion, or worse, smackable. So, and yeah, the one that I was involved with, he went on and did his own thing elsewhere, and again, after having the baby and all that on me, and then, so after that, it's like, what is a girl to do? What am I left to do? And that's why I brought up even that scripture, Hosea and stuff, Hosea 4:14, like, when you leave, not necessarily, prostitution, but when you leave somebody to themselves, and, and yeah, potentially they can get in trouble. Well, what is left for me to do? Y'all been so troublemaking and troublesome. I don't know what else to do. But I think my video about to end, so I'm out of here. Be back later.